So my hatred of scary movies started when I was 6 years old. My cousins, Michelle, Robbie, and Franklin, they were babysitting me, and they wanted to watch the movie Poltergeist. And I asked, "Isn't Poltergeist a scary movie?" And they responded, "If it was scary, they wouldn't put it on at night." And as a 6-year-old, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Why would they put it on at night? So we put the movie on, and moments go by, and then all of a sudden, there's a man standing in front of a mirror, peeling his face off, which I felt was inappropriate for a 6-year-old viewer. Now, my most hated scary movie of all time is the movie Child's Play. Now, who out here knows Child's Play? Okay. So Child's Play is the story of a single mom who's able to get her son a much sought-after toy doll that ends up being possessed by a serial killer. Why would you make this movie? Why would you do this? So the serial killing doll is named Chucky. Chucky's about, we know Chucky? Now we know Chucky? Chucky's about 2 feet tall. He wears overall. He's got a striped shirt. He's got red hair. And he has this, cocky swagger, like he's Jack Nicholson from The Shining. Like, he's just, walking around, pulling out switchblades and just, manically laughing, ha, 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 ha. Honestly, who does Chucky think he is? So I actually, to be honest with you guys, I never saw any of the Child's Play movies. I never saw a single Chucky movie. My fear is totally born out of watching the TV commercials. That's my only interaction with Chucky was through the TV commercials. But I developed a recurring nightmare. So every night I would go to sleep, and I would start to dream, and I would end up in Yankee Stadium with my dad, and we were being chased by Chucky. And there was also this part where there was a tanker truck that was full of coffee beans, and I never really worked out what that was about, but I think that's the reason why I don't drink coffee now. But so, as a kid, I had to devise a way to get over this fear. So I would lay in bed, and I told myself that every second I had my eyes closed in the dark, Chucky would go 1 mile away. And then every second I had my eyes open in the dark, Chucky would get a mile closer. So basically every night, as soon as the lights went out, I would just lay in my bed with my eyes glued shut, praying that Chucky was going far away. Now, as I got older, I stopped playing with my toys as much. Because think about it, as a kid, all you have is your toys. That's all that you can trust and protect you. My Star Wars figures, my He-Man, my G.I. Joes. I trusted them, and Chucky broke that trust. So as I got older, the toys became less important, and I think there was also a stretch there where there wasn't a Chucky movie that came out, so he was kind of out of the public eye. And I essentially forgot about Chucky, and the nightmares stopped. But let's cut to October 1998. So I'm 16 now. Me and a bunch of my friends are in a Halloween costume store. I'm perusing the aisles. I've got my eye on some really cool and topical South Park costumes. So I get a tap on my shoulder, and I turn around slowly, and immediately met in my face is Chucky. Now, this fear had been laying dormant for years. Hadn't thought about it for years. All of a sudden, this rush of emotion and electricity just builds through my body, and in a split second, I do the only thing that I can do. I punch Chucky right in his face. Boom! Chucky hits the ground. And for a second, I'm like, oh my God, I did it. I defeated Chucky. And I was but then I was confused for a second because I looked down and the Chucky mask came off and it was just my friend Dean Knight. And I had punched my friend Dean Knight in the face. So all the friends got together and they were like, Greg, man, you've got some stuff to work out with this Chucky mask. I think we actually need to buy this mask and go through immersion therapy. So I was totally against this, but so they ended up buying the mask. And so the therapy began a day later. So I walk into Dave Wad's house, and who's sitting there watching Joey Monheit and Mark Lanham play video games but Chucky. He's just casually sitting on the couch. Now, every bone in my body is saying, don't go sit next to Chucky, don't go sit next to Chucky, don't go sit next to Chucky. But I go down, and I sit next to Chucky, and I'm watching the video games, and then his head just turns to look at me. I said, nope, I'm out of here. Got up, I left the room. I couldn't take it. Now, later, the immersion therapy got more intense. So I was put into a dark room, as well as Dave Watt's bedroom, and there was a strobe light in there. So I had to sit in a chair. As the strobe light went, Chucky opened the door, came in, and just started dancing. So Chucky, strobe light, just dancing, just going at it. And I'm sitting there like, I want to leave so bad. And I'm like, I know that's you, Dean. Like, take off the mask, Mark. This isn't funny, Joey. I just couldn't take it. I had to get up. I had to get up and leave. I couldn't take it anymore. So then I got to the point where I realized there was really only one way to defeat Chucky, and that was to become him. So I took the Chucky mask, and I went into the bathroom and stood in front of the mirror, and I forced myself to put the Chucky mask on my own head. And now I'm looking at the mirror, and Greg is gone. It's only Chucky. So now I'm like, hey, I kind of like this cocky swagger of being Chucky. I go out and I start messing with all my friends, and they're like, get out of here. Get out of here. I'm like, no, like, I'm Chucky now, dude. Like, check me out. So we go to parties, and I wear the Chucky costume, and I thought, oh, people will hate this. And everybody would be like, yo, Chucky's here. This is great. So Chucky's at the party. Like, Chucky's dancing with girls. Like, Greg couldn't dance with girls, but the girls love Chucky. It's crazy. So, Chucky just became another one of our friend group. Everywhere we went, Chucky was there. So, we had the big girls' soccer game where everyone rushed the field afterwards. Chucky was there. Taking yearbook photos, Chucky was there. He ended up becoming a huge part of everyone's high school experience. So at my school, right before graduation, we would have an event where you could come and tell a story. So people would tell stories about, their band experience or playing football or whatever they did. So I showed up in full cap and gown with my Chucky mask on, confidently walked up to the podium and told the story about turning an enemy into a friend. Thank you.